Hello, hello, and welcome back. This next set of tools that I'm going to share with you are something that I oftentimes forget that I have access to because I generally can stay pretty hooked up, but they are profound and were instrumental in my ability to really, especially when my journey was beginning, to really stay centered and balanced and bring on more energy and be able to carry a much greater channel and volume of energy. These tools are something I've learned through a couple of different modalities that I've studied, and I'm really excited to share them with you and give full honor and credit to all of the places. I don't even know where the full extent of them comes from, but a lot of them stem out of Eden Energy Medicine. And over the years, they've kind of adapted and morphed into my own version of how we get to work with these different energy systems. So as I talked about in our last video, the mind is a powerful, powerful force. It dictates most of our daily lives and gets to be in charge a lot of the time, but it oftentimes doesn't always understand the full scope of everything that's coming at it. Another mentor, Sue Morter, in Energy Codes likes to say, the body's always talking, but the mind isn't listening, right? Like we're always getting the signal, but if the mind doesn't listen, it doesn't matter. And when the mind stops listening and it starts to lose some of this wisdom and information that's down in here, it can feel disconnected and it becomes much more reactionary. Think of that person that you know that's like always being dramatic and can't expand their perspective enough to see that, oh my God, there's this solution over here that's really simple. You know, we get tunnel vision sometimes, and we know that when we're in tunnel vision, that the mind is what is driving the show. So with that being said, I want to share with you a couple of mechanisms. When the mind gets stressed out or tweaked out, it'll trigger what is known as the triple warmer meridian. And triple warmer is amazing. It is that mechanism that can help us lift a car off of a child. It can, all of the great acts of heroism have essentially happened by harnessing the full extent of triple warmer. We don't realize that we can control triple warmer in the means of turning it off. What we're much more challenged with is actually keeping triple warmer from activating. All of the work we're doing in building the channel and making sure the mind feels supported is the main mechanism for keeping triple warmer from activating. But at the end of the day, if triple warmer turns on, it has the power to siphon energy. It's the only meridian that has the power to siphon energy from everywhere else in the body. It essentially takes energy and drives it specifically to the energy centers that need it, meaning your organs lose their energy with the exception of the heart and the brain. Everything else loses its blood supply because triple warmer is in action and it needs to harness everything. Triple warmer does not understand the difference between you being attacked by a lion and your boss attacking you with a really nasty email. It doesn't understand. It's an archaic system that's been infused into modern day times, and it is simply not adapted. It's this aspect of our energy system that has not evolved along with us. So here we are going into super high levels of spirituality, yet having this root structure that is here tasked with keeping us, that gets to keep us safe and alive. And the reason why it has so much control is, if you think about it, if our job when we were in our pre-evolutionary period was to be able to get the carrot so that we could survive another day, and we knew that in order to get that carrot, we had to, you know, if a lion attacks us, we're not going to be able to show up and get the carrot the next day. If it's a lower level response, we know we are. So ultimately, triple warmer is going to always react when a threat comes, because all it cares about is that we can show up the next day to get that carrot, to get that seed, to get that incentive. So it always thinks it is fully self-justified. And for the most part, it is. We just get to learn how to work with it and help it evolve and it adapt into a reality that doesn't need triple warmer 24/7. So if you are a person who struggles to sleep at night because of anxiety, that struggles with stress, there are specific triggers. I can tell you that the parasympathetic nervous system is our calming nervous system. It's what, when we're practicing breath, is being activated. When parasympathetic is activated, all of these signaling between all of this center is getting calmed down. So that's the long version of how to deactivate triple warmer, but there actually are a couple of hand positions we can use. So I'm going to share some of those with you right now. And I invite you, if you're struggling in some of the meditations, I invite you to use these because sometimes when we feel like we're not connecting, it's because we actually isn't connected to this. So we're not getting the signaling. And it happens because triple warmer is on. So what I invite you to do, place a hand on the forehead, and another hand, let's see if I can turn properly to do this, another hand at the back, just cradling the back of your skull. And it's as simple as this. I have done this many times with my kids, and I can tell you that it can take a while sometimes for triple warmer to come down, especially with high levels of stress that are activating older energies. The longest I think I sat one time was for a half hour, and I know that this is uncomfortable. Think about sitting like this for a half hour. So I'm going to show you another one. Another thing we do, we always hear to have good body language, right? To not cross our arms. But at the end of the day, when we are feeling threatened and we feel compelled to cross our arms, it's because an energy that we may not have conscious awareness of is coming at us, and we just need to stop it. Well, this cross, where we're holding each side and just right under the chest, is a simple way to comfort the body, to let it know that it's safe and secure, and also to deactivate triple warmer. Triple warmer loves this pose. I recommend it for, again, if you're struggling while you're laying down to do the meditation or sitting in a chair, to give yourself permission to hold yourself like this. It's a good hug. It's a good way to allow the gut and the whole lower portion of the nervous system know that you're listening and you're paying attention. Another mechanism, and this is going to be hard to show in the video, but is essentially to place your hands on your knees and just hands in the forehead. Simply like that, allowing yourself to sit quietly and the mind to calm down and your body to essentially come back to center. So these are powerful tools to use, and oftentimes we can get into a reactionary period where, like I said, we just have in the last video, we have a low-lying current of buzz that's occurring. And I actually went through this last week where some bigger stressors were showing up. I didn't know how I was going to deal with them, and ultimately they kicked me out of being centered and put me into triple warmer reactivity, and it took me a day or two. It took me a day to recognize that that's actually what was happening. And so I employed some of these exercises, but most importantly, I got out in nature. Triple warmer is always soothed by nature. When you can get your feet in the grass or just outside with a tree, something solid, something connected, it also will help the body to align and find that place of calm that is there for it, to nurture it and to support it. So a few little insights. Hope this helps if you're struggling with any of the meditations or just finding yourself in a stressful situation. They are amazing tools. So namaste. I will connect with you in our upcoming meditations.